So now we're nearing the end of this code. So we want to make sure that we're adding code to our player. So player might be in costume still, so you have to go to your scripts. So all of your code is going to go here. So we've got in the right place, and we want to check, we want to do that conditional statement again. We want to check if the sprite is touching our maze. So we go to our control, and we need some sort of block that's actually going to start our program. Now, we've started the other one, our goal, when our green flag is clicked. So we're going to do the same thing. And we want to check if our sprite is touching that maze. So every time we use an if statement, we have to have it in that forever loop. Otherwise, it checks the code once and then never again. So you have a logical error. So I'm going to go if. Now, if what? Well, if I go to my sensing, so there's three things. There's touching, but this maze is not a sprite. It's just a stage. But there is checking if your sprite is touching a color. So I can click on it, grab my maze color, and now I've got my if statement. So every single time my Pac-Man is touching this color, well, we want to kill our Pac-Man. It went out of bounds. So I'm going to tell the user, I'm going to give that feedback, and I'm going to tell them that it's game over. You might want to do a bit of an animation. But after game over, I'm going to hide my character. So now if I start my game, you can see, well, it's disappeared right away, and it's not really come back. So when I click it, so just like when I went to the goal, I want to restart to 0 with our variable. We have to make sure that we're restarting. So I want to show my character. And so it's appeared there again. And maybe I want to have that delay. So instead of just saying game over and then hiding, I'm actually going to put one with a time block in there. So you can see I'm always constantly refining my code based on the feedback that I've seen. So here it's going to say game over for 3 seconds, and then I'm going to hide my sprite. So now, here we're going to test it. I've got my game over, and it disappears. So now you can see that, however, if we click that green flag again, our player has still died. So you got to make sure that when you're restarting it, you also make sure that you move your sprite back to a starting position. So just like we did previously with our goal, we're going to set the coordinates of our player to an X and Y location. So I'm not going to set 0, 0 because that's a center. I want it right here. And the coordinates are the left-hand side here. So I'm going to say negative 172 and 122. So negative 172 and 122. I'm just going to start there. I want to test it. Oh, I've got my coordinates flipped. So I want to make sure it is, that's why I've had them flipped, because I put X before Y. So this is 122, and this is where you test and you refine your code, because it's really easy to make those mistakes. All right, let's try it again. Okay, so every time I start it, now you want to test your code. Can it actually make it through the maze and get your goal? Well, if they can, great. If not, you might need to shrink down that character a bit.